Hammer here, and today I'm going to show you how to do a deadlift. So a deadlift is one of the most commonly done wrong exercises that I've ever seen. A lot of people use the wrong muscles, do it so wrong that they're going to injure themselves, they're going to injure their back, and I'm going to show you how to do it the right way. We're going to eliminate all of those myths and wrong ways of doing it. So let's get started. I have my friend Michelle here, and I'm going to show you using her as an example. So we're going to walk right up to the bar, right, and we're going to keep our feet parallel with each other, okay? We're going to walk right to the bar so we get our shins right to the bar, okay? Now we're going to come down and grip it, and sometimes you see people use an over-under grip. I wouldn't recommend an over-underhand grip, so which would be one hand over, one hand under, okay? I wouldn't recommend that until the weight gets very heavy where you would need it. So we're just going to do two hands over, and one thing to note, always keep your elbows locked. If you start bending your elbows, you're going to pull too much with your bicep and you can strain your bicep, especially when you have heavy weight loaded up. So now that we have that position, we're going to roll our shoulders back, put our chest up, okay? And we're going to push all of our weight to the back. This exercise uses your hamstrings and your glutes, so the back half, the posterior chain of your body. A lot of people lift with their quads. It's like doing a squat, guys, so there's no difference between doing a squat and a deadlift if you're going to lift like that, except the bar's in a different position, under you instead of over you like a squat. So to make sure we eliminate that, we're going to lean back as far as we can, push our weight all the way back. So you're going to see when we do that, her toes almost come all the way off the ground. She's pushing back and loading up her hamstrings, loading up our glutes, so that she has the weight and the power to pull from there. So when you load up your hamstrings and your glutes, you have a lot more power there, and that's where this exercise is coming from, and your erectors. So we're going to roll our shoulders back. Okay, we're going to lift, put the weight back, and we're going to lift keeping the bar in line with your body. So you want the bar to rub against your quads and your shins as you go up and down. Go back down. Good. Keep the bar in line with your body. Perfect. Go back up. Good. Perfect. And at the top, you're going to flex your glutes. Really flex your butt, guys. Go back down. Good. Making sure you're breathing on the way up. Good. Shoulders back. Good. Perfect. Back down. Make sure you're pushing all the way back on the way up and the way down. Looking straight forward, eyes are always straight forward. Ready? Go. Good. Push your butt back, butt back, butt back. Good. There you go. Two more. Good. Make sure your butt's pushing right back, all the way back. Good. All the way back so your toes are almost off the ground. One more. Good. And butt back. There you go. And as you can see, she has a flat back. Her back isn't rounding out, and a lot of people make that mistake where as they lift the weight, their back starts rounding out. What happens when your back rounds out? You put excessive weight on your vertebrae. Your vertebrae is like a string. If you put weight on it, it will snap, it will break, guys, and you're going to be really, really injured. And that's why a lot of people don't do deadlifts. They're really discouraged by it because they have injuries from doing them in the past, from doing them wrong. So you guys saw the right way of doing it. Michelle showed you the right way, and she's an animal, guys. Look at her. So check me out on Facebook, official Amer the Hammer page, and Twitter, Amer the Hammer. Thank you for watching.
All you thousands and millions of viewers, you can do this stuff anywhere. So I'm going to go over some knee issues. I've been getting a lot of people talking to me about knee issues, and a lot of times, you know, the problem is that knee replacements, not the answer, and the fact that the knee is a pretty simple joint. It's a hinge joint. It's got what's called the screw-home mechanism at the end of the knee. So when you lock out that knee, it twists about 5 degrees to lock it into place. So when you're getting into the top of that clean and jerk, and you get your feet lined up underneath you, and or even the top of that snatch, or even lock out in a squat, or even the top of a thruster, what's going to happen is that knee's going to lock out. The problem is if the knee isn't getting the proper upstream or downstream tissue mechanics, the knee itself gets beat to death. So for example, the IT band, which runs down the lateral portion of the leg, it's engaged by that TFL. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it down. Yeah, this is the first time and probably the last time you're going to see me in a gym like this. I'm not training here, but I'm going to show you what you can do anywhere in any place. So if you look at the way the leg sits, let me drop this just a little bit. So IT band comes down the lateral portion of the leg. That TFL sits right in here. Now that TFL is what engages and disengages that iliotibial band. And if you look at the knee, it fans out and attaches on that lateral portion of the tibia. So what it's going to do is it's going to do some rotation on that tibia. So it's going to put a rotational shear on that knee. So when these guys sit there and they talk to you about knee problems, it's not the knee itself, it's the mechanics above the knee that are causing the problem. And you know what most people do is we address this knee itself, and then it never gets any better, or it gets slightly better, and then the next day it comes back. So instead of doing that, let's unglue the tissue that's upstream from that knee, and go ahead and make that knee function the way it's supposed to, because knee is supposed to last you, what, about 100 years, right? Joints are designed for mechanical efficiency. We take away that efficiency and you wind up with replacements. And I promise you this, a titanium ball, not nearly as effective as the bone and the hyaline cartilage that you have in the joint. So when you look down the lateral side of the knee, like I said, we got that IT band, fans out, super, super tight band. It's designed to have a load. So just to give you an idea, it's supposed to have what's called a functional load. That functional load is, you're born with that. It's designed to keep that knee stable, especially when running, sprinting, taking off, high jump, CrossFit. What we do is very explosive. The movements we do are very explosive, so that is going to be under a lot of tension. It's supposed to be that way. Without that tension, the knee mechanics are going to suffer incredibly. So we're going to unglue that IT band, we're going to set that TFL upstream, and the other portion of that is that glute. So now you're going to have this argument between the glute max knee to min and that TFL up front. You're going to have an argument with the hips. So you're going to mute up that pelvis, and then the glute's going to try and flex that lower, or extend that lower leg, so it's going to try and open it up, except the glute is substantially stronger, but the ligament here is substantially stronger. So you're going to have this gnarly argument. You're just going to beat the snot out of that tissue. So we don't need to do any of that stuff. We need to unglue the tissue so the knee mechanics work right. And then throw in the adductors. Remember, the adductors come from the obturator foramen up inside the pelvis. They run down, there's 4 of them, including that gracilis. I know we all think that gracilis is totally useless. Little thin, strappy muscle. Doesn't really do much, but yet it does, because it's the only one that crosses that knee, comes down into here. So we have all these muscles coming here, along with the semimembranosus, semitendinosus that come in through here. They're going to affect that knee, and I haven't even gotten to the hamstrings yet. I'm not going to address those today. We're going to start with just the simple mechanics for the knee. We unglue that tissue so we can squat like crazy, run, jump, play, do all the fun stuff. Unless you want knee replacements, in which case you're going to get on the phone with your ortho guy. I mean, don't do that. I'm kidding. It's a joke. Remember what I said? I'm going to come to your house, make you do burpees for like an hour. We already did a truckload of muscle ups. Hope you guys crushed it on 16.3. It's an awesome WOD for the open. A lot harder than I thought, but hey, super fun, right? So we're going to grab a foam roller. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this. I'm going to drop this down just a little bit so we can see what in the holy hootenannies we're doing. Hey, listen, mad camera skills. Don't make fun of me. Like I said, I'll come to your house. So we get our foam roller. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to crush that IT band down the side. We're just going to drag it through ranges of motion. So I'm going to move this dumbbell. God, I haven't picked up a dumbbell for so long. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a lateral portion of the leg. Okay. When we're on that leg, say what we're doing is we're tacking down that IT band. By tacking down the IT band, we're going to effectively affect the knee and change the mechanics of the knee and make them work the way they're supposed to. So when we get onto that IT band, get your leg out like this, post over like this so you can lock out that knee. If you notice here, I'm locking out that knee, and all we're going to do is we're just going to grind away on this. We're going to get in all those fugly little corners. Remember what I said? Don't mind the camera. Good, so I'm going to bring this right to the edge so you can see exactly what the hell I'm doing. This is awful. So all we're going to do is grind all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. My big fat finger in the way. So take this leg, lay it out on that IT mat. You're going to want to bring up a boot, post over just like this so we can put some weight on it. That's going to lock out the bottom. It's important that you lock out that knee. And then just grind away, all the way down. You're gonna get to a hot spot, like right there, and just hang out there. Move about 1.5 inches, and just clear it out. When that clears out, move to the next one. Remember, change happens. When change happens, that's your profound statement for the day. Grind away, all the way up and down. You're gonna work your way all the way up to the top. Stay within the very top. There's a portion of that femur there. It's just gonna hurt. You're gonna beat it up. There's a bursa there. It's a greater trochanter. Don't beat that up. You guys are gonna call me on how to fix bursitis. I'm gonna walk through a whole other video for that stuff, and you guys are gonna send me DMs, which I love, by the way. You guys send me all the messages you want. You guys send me about 1,000 a day. I'm totally okay with that. Now the next one, you know what it is, right? It's what, 53? I had to take a look there. I'm not doing math. It's like 1:30 in the afternoon. So we're gonna go just 1 inch. I'm gonna find the belly button, okay? We're gonna go 1 inch. So find the belly button, 1 inch to the side of the belly button, and you're gonna let this dig in here. And then you're going to floss back and forth. So just go 1 inch to the side, and then you're going to take the femur. Now remember, the femur tracks out a little bit. It doesn't go back and forth straight. So we're going to take this kettlebell. Oh yeah, we're just going to take the handle. Make sure, see, this thing is upside down. We're 1 inch to the side. Both knees are bent, so it disengages the pelvis. Let your head relax. I'm just holding it up so I can talk to y'all. All right, and then we're just going to take the femur, the leg, and we're just going to come in and out. Oh, in and out, in and out. all the way. This friggin' sucks. All the way back and forth. You're gonna do this 15 times each side. All right, that's number 1. Oh, before I dance this into the camera. All right, we got that? We clear? Right on? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is we're gonna get into the cow stretch. So I'm gonna bring this over as a camera stand. And all we're gonna do, we're just gonna flip this bad boy around. Check this out. We go there. Notice ab mat, okay? Super important. We'll go just like that. The reason you want the ab mat is you're gonna grind away on that knee, so don't do that. Bring the ab mat all the way up against the wall. Get your knee on the ab mat. I tend to start my shoulder against the wall, and then all I do is I spin, get my foot all the way up against here, bring the other leg all the way out just like this, and then just hang out like this. All you're gonna do is camp out. So what I don't wanna see is all arched out like this. All that's gonna do is put you in a hyperextension. I realize we're cutting off the top of my head. I'm not walking over there moving the camera. You're gonna suck the belly button into the spine, squeeze your glutes, and hang out here for how long? 2 minutes, that's right, okay? You're gonna feel that in 2 spots. One in the pocket, so the iliacus or the psoas, and the other is down on that rectus femoris. That's the important one. You wanna grind this away, you wanna peel it apart, rip it off the bone, because it's gonna free up that knee. That's a big deal, all right? So that's number 2. Oh, we're still not done. This is getting all kinds of funky. 2 things we're gonna hit with this. This is a basic piece of PVC, Home Depot, probably about 79 cents. We're gonna hit the peroneals. Peroneals run down the lateral side of the leg, and we're gonna hit the gastroc and the soleus that run around the outside of the back of the leg as well. So first thing you're gonna do, this will help free up that knee, trust me, because it crosses the knee joint, especially the gastroc. So you're gonna have issues with that, but free up the knee, free up the hip, they work together. So take your foot, pop it over here. I'll use this one so you can see it. So we're gonna take your foot, pop it over here. This is where it gets a little funky. And then all you're gonna do is, oh God, 10 circles clockwise, 10 circles counterclockwise. And you're gonna work your way all the way down to the Achilles. That's number 1. Number 2, doesn't get much easier than this. You're gonna sit on it. We'll go like that. Yeah, I know, I keep moving the camera. I'm gonna sit on it just like this. So this is the PVC right here. We're just gonna sit on it. I'm gonna lean my leg, the peroneals. Oh God, this is horrible already. You can see my foot is just relaxed right here, and I'm just gonna lean on it, and I'm just gonna grind back and forth, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. So here, let's face it this way, just so you can see what I'm doing. So my leg is perpendicular to the piece of PVC, and then I'm just gonna put my weight on it, grind down the side. Oh God, this is pretty horrendous. All the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. Oh, man, after all the gnarly stuff I did, that's friggin' painful. All right, so that's number 3. So we freed up the psoas, we grounded away with that kettlebell, which is actually behind there. And hi, Kelly. And we're gonna start with Kelly. She runs a whole show around here. She got me my rower and my assault bike, or my air dive. Terrible piece of equipment, by the way. So peeled away the psoas. Last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go right back to the hip. We gotta get that iliacus unloaded too, because when, like I said, you sprain it, the iliopsoas is a 2-groove complex that comes into the femur. So
it's my favorite stretch. You're gonna bring yourself forward. So first of all, chin out and imagine like there's a puppet string attached to you and someone's pulling you up. So lift up from the rib cage, and as you're coming down, keeping your tummy in, chest is aiming to touch your heels, and your elbows are right here, pushing your legs down as you're coming down, lower and lower. So take your time, don't push too much if you're a beginner. And then if you want to add some intensity or go a little bit more advanced, bring yourself down all the way so the elbows are on the floor, chest is on your heels. Relax your neck, and again, focus on your breathing patterns and hold that. Good. And bring yourself back up. Another great one is actually my other personal favorite. And for this one, we're going to need to change the position and fold the mat in 2. And the reason why is because it provides the extra cushion for the knees so that you can be comfortable and enjoy doing this. So we're going to begin in Yasmin pose, where you just open your knees and slowly trying to sit down almost from this area onto the floor. So it takes some time to go as low as I am right now. So take your time. You can even start off, bring your body forward, leaning on your arms. Again, always conscious of your posture so your tummy stays in. Bring one level lower, and then extend your arms all the way. And if you're a beginner, keep your bum out in the air. Your chest is on the floor, and again, relax your neck and just hold. Good. And if you want to bring it one level lower, this is when you're going to try to come down on the floor all the way at this area, and also extend your arms just on the floor, back arched. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and relax. Good. You may want to do it a couple times a week, especially practice this all the time.
Before we do any kind of work, I don't care if you're young, old, beginner, advanced, you're going to be on this before you do anything. So this can be used, again, this is an awesome tool to use for the entire body, but for today, we're just going to be working on the hip flexors. This is the best stretch and foam rolling technique used for your hip flexors. So all you do is put it on the floor. So our hip flexors are right here, a very small region of the body, right here. We're just going to apply pressure onto the roller. Roll back and forth. Now guys, notice my body is turning a little bit, trying to get the outside of the hip flexors, but also the inside. Spend about a half minute or so on each side. So I'm focusing on my left hip flexor right here, upper part of the quad. And now the same side, so I just rolled out my hip, my left hip. I'm going to flip on over. I'm going to put the roller underneath my tailbone, as gracefully as I can. Lean back. Now what's going to happen in this, I'm going to try to stretch out my left hip flexor. Since I just rolled it out, it's loosened up. Extend both legs out. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to stretch out, pull my right knee into my chest. The reason why I'm pulling my right knee is that because the right side is connected to the left side. Your hip flexor is controlled from that right glute. So as I pull onto my right, pull the right knee into my chest, I can feel a tremendous stretch in my left hip flexor here. Now the reason why I have the roller underneath me is to elevate my hips, getting into that hyperextended position. Gradually pulling it into my chest. Again, 20 to 30 second hold. And then release. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. This is somewhat beginner. Eliminate the roller. Keeping the back knee up off. Now I'm able to sink down deeper into that stretch. This will rely a little more on the upper body strength just to hold you up. I'll show you guys on the other side. So for the little more beginner, not as severe as a stretch. Again, now my right leg is forward, pointing straight ahead. My left leg, my back leg, is facing the ground on the roller, trying to relax that hip, sinking down deep as you can go. So a little more advanced, get rid of the roller.
You got funky music going on in the background? Not so bad, huh? Like the fresh bean on the head. Hey, listen, we're going to be talking about, you ready for this? Patellofemoral pain syndrome. Yeah, you know what that is? That is basically a scientific explanation for I have no hot clue why your knee hurts. Yeah, you doubt me? Check Wikipedia. It'll say something to the effect of, we really don't know why it hurts, but your knee just hurts. Yeah. So in other words, you know what we're talking about? Knee pain. So most knee pain doesn't come from the knee. Most knee problems aren't because of the knee. They're from ankle mobility issues and hip mobility issues, and that's it. The ankle has to be able to dorsiflex and circumduct. The hip, 360 degrees of movement, so that's my hip movement right there. I could probably do this instead. It's probably more accurate. But what happens is the hip loses mechanics, and 99% of the time it's because the glutes aren't firing. So when you activate the hip, when you work anything to extend the lower leg, it's all done by hip drive. So the problem is that when it's not, your thigh takes over, usually the quads, which spits the knees out forward and puts a super bad shear on the knee. So until you can engage that posterior chain, what's gonna happen is you're gonna wind up using your quads. You're gonna get, here's the two most common problems. I'll give you predictors for knee issues right now. It's that easy. Here's the two predictors. One, if you have a valgus knee, so if your knee starts to cave in on your squats, and number two is if I can hear you land. So if you're landing like a ninja, like this, oh yeah, you see, you didn't hear that. If you're you have no idea whether I even left the ground. For all you know, I just did this. But trust me, Travis will tell you I left the ground. But what happens is if you land like a ninja, you're not transmitting all that force to the knee. If you can hear yourself land, I guarantee your knee can feel it. It's just that easy. Man, that's a sick shine on my head today. I like that. So what's gonna happen is you need to disperse that force or soften that blow so you're not impacting that knee so much, number one. Number two is you need to be able to torque those femurs, the femurs out so you don't shear up that knee, and you need to stop shooting the knee forward. Here, I'll show you. You need to stop shooting the knee forward so you don't rely on your quads to lift a weight. Because if you don't use your glutes and if you can't turn them on, it's a big problem with a lot of athletes. I see a lot of guys and girls come into my practice, and I see them all here in the gym and in a lot of gyms where I get a lot of messages going, I have knee problems and I have hip issues. Most of the time it's not a knee or hip issue, it's just being able to activate the glutes and then getting them to stay turned on. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. All this stuff you can do at home with the exception of, well, actually you can probably do all this stuff at home. It's just that easy, you don't even need a gym. So check this out, this is super legit. So I'm gonna show you how to kick up your glutes the way they're supposed to, and show you the ceiling of the gym at the same time. But this stuff's really easy. The problem is that it's easy to do, which means it's easy not to do, right? So number one is a glute bridge. Everybody knows what they are. I don't want these with weight, nothing. Get your feet that far apart. So we're about 2 hand widths apart. You're gonna get back. Glute bridges are easy. You wanna make sure everything's super tight. If you wanna stay up, that's fine. I don't want you to. I want you to pin your shoulder blades to the floor. You're just gonna come up. All you're doing is you're squeezing your glutes. Grab your butt, or someone else's, it doesn't really matter. That's number one. 3 sets of 10. You know I'm always 3 sets of 10. Number two is kick your leg out. Single leg glute bridges. So you're gonna come up, and then you're gonna come back down. 3 sets of 10. This is such easy stuff to do, and the problem is, most people aren't doing it. They're doing all this fancy stuff. Get rid of the fancy stuff, turn on your butt. Your hip loves 360 degrees of motion, so I'm gonna show you how to move that hip through 360 degrees, kind of butter up that hip joint, that femoral acetabular joint, and get the hip firing the way it's supposed to. So you can get what's called quadruped. So this is quadruped, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna bring the knee in, bring it up, and bring it all the way around. That's 1 rep. So you're just doing this, it's this easy. That's number 3. I know I'm giving you a ton of stuff. Number 4 is fire hydrant. Think you're a dog, that's it. Yeah, it's this easy, isn't it fun? There, 3 sets of 10 of that too. This is like the best hip mobility or hip activation sequence I could probably give you. The last one is this one. You're gonna get in quadruped again. All you're gonna do is bring the hip up, flatten out the heel, and just push up. Yeah, I know, it's like a little Jane Fonda stuff. It's super easy. Ain't Jane Fonda, she's better looking than I am. Well, I don't know, she's got more hair than me though. So anyway, those are those 5 things just to activate and turn on the glutes. I would do these before you squat, before you jump, before you rip across the field, before you sprint. It doesn't matter, all that stuff. That's 5 to kind of get the hips moving. Let me give you a high hip mobility, because this stuff is where everybody's missing. You get guys like Travis over there. It doesn't count because he does Cirque du Soleil. Yeah, really did. He's really a Cirque du Soleil guy. Spun around and did all kinds of gnarly, well, I won't swear, gnarly stuff on the rings. Not stuff I could do. So you want to step into a band. Use a heavier band, cinch it up into the groin, watch the twig and giggleberries. Get real wide. The foot's rolled out, this is the big thing. You want to keep the knee at probably about 30 degrees. You get up to 45, but nothing more than that. Grab the foot, and you're going to take your torso and bring it to your foot. That's all you're going to do. It's this easy. Pull yourself in, hunt around and scour around until you feel it really high in the hip. How long do we hang out? Yeah, 2 minutes. You know that. Last one's super cool. I'm gonna try and finish this before the WOD. Last one is a great hip mobility / hip activation sequence, and this is some pretty sick stuff. So you're gonna get in front of so I have a band here. The band is set. Yeah. The band is set at just about hip height. Okay? So all I did is take a band and put it between the rig. You're gonna get real wide, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna go under the band, open up the hip, and then the same thing back and open up the hip. So watch this. You're gonna step under, up real wide, step under, up real wide. It's a great way to do a couple of things. One, get the hips moving the way they're supposed to, and two, open up the hip flexors and peel open that iliacus, that rectus femoris, and that psoas all in one move. Hey, that's it. I'm Trev, SmashWerx, fixing hips and knees. I'll check you guys out tomorrow. Have an awesome Monday. I'm blunt, I'm direct. We're gonna take the hip, we're gonna take it through some ranges of motion. 5 are ranges of motion to actually loosen the tissue, unglue that joint capsule, restore the actual 360-degree movement. Because remember, there are so many muscles that cross that hip joint, and what's going on is you're sending a signal to your brain of corrupt movement. So there's a problem with that because remember, there's fascia that the joint or that the tissue uses to slide past themselves. But that fascia is also loaded with proprioceptors, and those proprioceptors, they're like a loudspeaker to your brain. So they send a signal up to your brain, and then your brain bases its instruction on how it's getting the signal and what the signal it's getting. So that being said, if it gets a really corrupt signal, all it can do is react to the information it's being given, and it spits out corrupt movement, which means you wind up getting really, really faulty motor patterns, corrupt motor patterns, basic neurology, right? So if we unglue the tissue, we fix the mechanics, and then we teach you how to move better, you know what you get? You know what did I call it? I called it neuromyotrophy, right? That's there. That is a SmashWerxism. Use it. Neuromyotrophy. New. I'm going to bring it into the world. I promise you this. I will create an entirely new branch of healthcare. That's what I'm going to do. And we're going to shut down all the bullshit that's out there. So bottom line is I'm going to show you how to move the hips properly, and then we're going to do 2 strengthening drills that you're probably not doing to teach you how to move them right, all right? So number 1, normally I'd grab this J-hook that's sitting right here, but it's got a weight on it. I don't feel like moving it because, you know what, I'm all kinds of sore, so pardon the rings. See the rings swaying around in the background. So first things first, we're going to get into a squat. So when you get into a squat, look at that, that's gratuitous crotch shot right there. That's awful, isn't it? So when you get into a squat, we'll go like this so you can see what I'm doing. So I want you to go toes forward in your squat, okay? So we're bottomed out in the squat, and then take one knee, drive it all the way down, keep this knee loaded, and then bring the knee all the way up, and then take this knee, drive it all the way down, keep your torso straight, and then bring it all the way up. So all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up. I would do ideally 3 sets of 10. That's number 1. Number 2, oh, this is so much fun, this stuff. All right, number 2 is what's going to be called, it's a version of the couch, but it's going to isolate a lot more quad than iliacus and psoas, when that psoas runs off of that anterior portion of that L2 to L5, right? The iliacus off the front of the ilium. Plus we've got like sartorius, rectus femoris, a lot of stuff. So we're going to post out like so, okay? You're going to reach back. We're going to grab this, put your hand here for stability if you need it, that's fine. Get real wide, take the leg, and then just lean forward. So I have this, I'm pushing the hip towards the ground. Give this, these are anywhere drills, that's why I'm giving them to you. All the way, how long do we hang out in this position? 2 minutes, when you're done, lean back to unload, drop it down. All right, that's number 2. Number 3 is a figure 4, so we want to unload the high hip. So glute med, TFL, essentially the IT band. That's some stall mat on my knee, plus some funky dirt. So we're gonna take the foot, we're gonna bring it all the way across, except if you look, I'm gonna do it this way so you can see what I'm doing. We're gonna come all the way over like this, and then we're gonna take the knee, and we're gonna bring it all the way across. So there's 2 ways of doing this. I'm bringing this knee here. So if I'm bringing it past where I'm supposed to be, and then I'm going to take the knee and pull it up and over. Well, that's awful. So it's going to peel away all this stuff. So if we look, I'm taking the knee, so I'm crossing it, I'm bringing the knee away, or the foot away, and then I'm going to grab the knee, and I'm going to pull it all the way across. Oh, that's misery. Hold for how long? 2 minutes. That's number 3. All right. That's some awful stuff. All right, now we got number 4, which is basically you get into a butterfly, except when you're in this butterfly position, I'm gonna have you push down on one side. So we're gonna grab, so we're butterfly, So we're gonna hit the adductors, grab the feet. You can see I'm sweating. It's like 97 degrees here. It's September. Isn't that badass? Take the knee one at a time. Push, hold, really crank away on it. Same thing on the other side. Really crank away on it. How many times do we do that? Honestly, 2 minutes of work. That's number 4. Number 5 is what I call, we're gonna wind up doing 8 of these. So we're gonna do what's called quadruped 360. So we get in quadruped. This is just some fun shiz right here. This is a cool shirt, right? CrossFit San Jose. Love it. So we get nice rigid spine. We're gonna bring the knee up, out, all the way back, and then back to neutral. This is your starting position. So bring it into flexion, keep your midline straight, up like a fire hydrant, like a doggy, all the way up, and then back to neutral. 3 sets of 10. Last one, turn your feet out, settle into a good quadruped position, and then just bring your feet back or bring your torso back as far as you can until you feel that. Keep this at 90 degrees, your knee at 90 degrees, all right? Camp out like this for how long? 2 minutes. Oh, that's miserable. Now, so what was that, 6? This is gonna be 8 drills. So now comes the exercise portion. We're gonna do a bridge reach over. So before I drip sweat all over my floor and die, you're gonna reach all the way up with the hand across the body. So you're gonna bridge out, hands like this, gator arms for all you jiu-jitsu guys, right? Keep the arms in. You're gonna bridge out, and then you're gonna push across. Come back down, across. Come back down, across. Come back down, across. How many? 3 sets of 10 each side. Yeah. Hey, I'm Trevor from SmashWerx, here with Jackie Perez. Say hi, Jackie.
Hi.
See, we're gonna work on helping Jackie with her hips. We're gonna help work on some adductor issues she's got and teach her how to strengthen up her ankles. We've got a navicular fault, we've got a genu valgus on her knee that we just figured out that she didn't tell me about. Even though, how long have I been working on you, Jackie?
Years.
Yeah, years. And what kind of friends are we?
Very good.
Yeah, best friends. So, I mean, that being said, we got to fix this girl, okay? So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to have her get in a green band. You guys have all seen this stretch before. I'm going to have you wrap it around your waist. I'm going to have you go over the feet. What we're doing is we're going to open up her hips because Jackie's got one hip that's really, really tight and one hip that's a little bit looser. But the problem is her pelvis is really muted. So, what that does is causes her to have a really restricted squat because the femur can't track on the outside. So what we do for something like that is if you look at Jackie, we got her feet nice and straight, we've got her butt all the way up against the wall, and normally she would camp out exactly just like that. See, she helps. And she's gonna camp out in this for 2 minutes. She's gonna hang out here, it's gonna move that. The band's not very tight on her, so normally I would have a much tighter band on someone like this. But this is gonna have to suffice for right now. She's gonna hang out there, keep the feet straight, go a little wider. Good. See, this is what happens when you work with a pro athlete, is they're awesome at getting into positions. Good. All right, and really make sure that those feet are straight and pull them out as wide as you can. Oh, that's diabolical. Let's just see, she's making the pain face. I can see it. Millions of people don't want to see it. All right, so we're going to camp out like this for a little bit. This is going to cause a lot of mobility to happen in the hamstring. We've got the adductors. We've got a lot of stuff going on inside the hips, and it's going to open up that muted pelvis. Second phase of this stretch is she's going to slide away from the wall until her knees are at 90 degrees, and she's going to take her bad hip, well, her challenged hip, and we're going to cross it. We're going to get bad. Did you hear that? Guys, she said bad. And we're going to cross that all the way over. She's going to put pressure on that foot, and she's going to reef on that knee a little bit. Now here's what I'm going to get down here. You guys got to see this. So we've got a space right here. So there shouldn't be any space with that, and give it a good push. So she's really pushing on that to approximate that femur into the capsule and to open up the hip a lot. So when we look, pain face, which is the face you want to make. She's smiling and laughing. But pain face, that's what you want to make because you're pushing away on this. There it is. Really, really, really reef on that. So she's going to hang out in that for about 2 minutes too. I'm going to pull her away from the wall. We're going to go to stretch number 3. So pop that band off. This is the one that's gonna be horrendous. You're gonna go back, you're gonna lay on your back, you're gonna wrap this around your waist, and she's gonna take the band and she's gonna flip it around the bottoms of her feet. Yes, all the way around. You got it, just like this. And same thing on the other side, and then she's gonna bring her butt all the way up against the wall, and she's gonna straighten out her legs, all the way up against that wall, and feet this way, all the way up, like heels driving into the wall. Up, up, up. And now straighten out your legs, all the way. Straighten them out, straighten them out, straighten them out, straighten them out, straighten them out. There we go. And then she's just gonna let them fall out, both of them. Oh yeah, see? This is a surprise stretch for Jackie. Adductors are bugging Jackie because they're firing a lot harder on one side than on the other. Because when you have a genu valgus, the knee collapses. And if you see her feet, by the way, they're completely dorsiflexed, and she's letting all this tissue just loosen up. She's letting all this tissue loosen up the way it's supposed to. But what happens is it starts to pull that knee in, and the knee collapses. So when she squats, she's got one knee that collapses a little bit. It's going to be your right leg, right? Right leg collapses a little bit. Right ankle, definite fault in that navicular. That's the bone right in here, which she didn't tell me until just now. She goes, "You didn't know that?" Yeah. So we're going to hang out in this stretch. She's doing pretty good. What I'm going to have her do is I'm going to have her squeeze her legs together just a little bit. Bring them up against the band. Hold, 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 hold. And then let them drop. Do a little bit of PNF. So see how she just got a little deeper in that stretch. And Jackie, so Jackie's pro athlete, regional athlete, games athlete, good at what she does, mobilizes a lot, and still has issues. So that lets you guys know that this stuff needs to be done. All right, so that's the mobility for the hip. I'm gonna have you come out of this. And the way you come out of this is bend the knees. There we go. Bend the knees, pull the band off. So horrendous. And then we're gonna run over to the rig because we're gonna help clear out that navicular fault. Come on with me. We're gonna grab the green band. We're gonna wrap this around the bottom of the rig. So we take a band, we wrap it around the bottom of the rig. I'm gonna have you put your heel in the band, and you're gonna sit down on your butt. Go ahead and sit down. Good. All the way. Like this.
Oh,
Perfect. It's okay. And then you're gonna cross this over. So stick your leg out, just like mine is. You're gonna distract away. So what she's gonna do is she's gonna distract away from the rig, and she's gonna cross this over twice, just like that. And she's gonna pull away. And now all you're gonna do is you're gonna pull your toe towards you. Look at this. And then let it relax. Pull. Tell me, do you feel that right there? Gnarly, right? So what that's gonna do is that's gonna allow that foot to recover some of that arch and help keep some of that fault from happening when she's doing box jumps, squats, keeping that collapse from happening. And then opening up the pelvis is another thing that's gonna help a lot when she drops into the bottom of that squat. She's gonna do this 15 times. She's gonna do it on both sides because we have 2 ankles. We're gonna do it both sides. Right on? All right, listen, I'm Trevor from SmashWerx. Jackie Perez, awesome. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Listen, what we're going to be talking about is knee pain, but more importantly, the fact that your knees are snapping and popping. So if you ever get up and the knees make this popping sound, what we're going to do is we're going to undo that popping, snapping knees, because what it's from is usually a tissue restriction. So if you spend your day, look at this, I'm a soaking hot, wet mess. So if you spend your day seated, or those knees are engaged in flexion, what ends up happening is the tissue gets restricted, all that connective tissue starts to bind up. Remember, the patella is this big sesamoid bone, so it's big bone and it's pancaked inside the patellar tendon. It wraps around that quadriceps tendon, wraps around it basically, attaches on the tibial tuberosity. I'm gonna get out of the way just so I don't get anyone's way. They're all doing a warm-up right now. So what happens is the tibial tuberosity gets strained. That's number one. I'm putting a kettlebell up here so I can sit over here and do this. That's number one. And number two, if we look at it, I know I'm getting a glare and you guys are probably all irritated, but and number two is the entire quadriceps complex. So the vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, the rectus femoris, all that stuff gets all pasted down, but there has to be this uneven slide. So what happens is the muscles slide past themselves at different rates. So if they don't have the ability to slide past each other, they get bound up. And that's what happens when they're stationary. It's like when you sit on an airplane. Oh, there we go. I block the glare with my shiny dome. But what happens is, if you sit on an airplane for a long period of time, when I say long period of time, longer than 2 minutes. Remember, it takes 2 minutes to change viscoelastic properties of tissue. So if you sit for a long time, desk, airplane, car, commute, you know what, bottom of the squat, doesn't really matter. Tissue changes, and the sliding surfaces change as well. So now the knee doesn't work properly, the hip can't torque out properly, so I'm gonna show you to clear all that up. We're gonna roll out some of that tissue. I'm gonna show you to clean up all the stuff on either side of the knee, because you can't just hit the quad side, you have to hit the hamstring side too. So there's 4 things we're gonna do to unload the snapping knee. So if your knees pop and snap, here's the cure. Let's see, oh, I want to show you the ceiling. So when I show you the ceiling, look at this, look at that. Batshit crazy people after a workout we just did. So number 1 is, we're gonna take a roll. You should have seen that. That was like a trick shot with a foam roller. You missed it, but it was pretty cool. So you want to hit, remember what I said, rolling out the IT band is completely useless. So we want to hit that vastus lateralis, not right on the IT, because if you start mashing away on that IT, that's trying to loosen up your shin, and it doesn't work. You can't get a bone to be flexible. Same thing with the IT. If you can get your IT to be loose, show me, because I'm going to call bullshit on that. So what you do is you get on the vastus lateralis, so it's just above where that IT band is, and you're just going to peel away on that. So the first thing we want to do is you want to find that spot, post out with the leg on front, and I want you to roll forward. So foam roll, PVC pipe, go to Costco or Home Depot, whatever you need, and now you're just going to grind away. Oh man, that's miserable. You just peel away on the anterior portion of that vastus lateralis and go all the way down to the knee. Get right above where the patella is, just stay off the patella. That's number 1. Do at least 2 minutes of work and go the entire length of the muscle. Oh, that's misery. That is some wicked misery. All right, number 2 is we're gonna hit the couch stretch because we're gonna unload the quad. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. I like using the wall. Why? Because it's easy. So much fun, this stuff. And I know you guys have seen this, but this is a good combo to do to kind of clean up the knees and keep them from snapping. And there's gonna be a bonus, and that's how to adjust your knee. So kick the leg up all the way. Make sure the shin is parallel to the wall, perpendicular to the floor. If you're having a hard time with the word perpendicular, ask a 3rd grader, they'll help you. So, we wanna take this. I got fuzz and tape and all kinds of shit on me today. So you can see, so I've got good flexibility in my quad, but if you can't get here and you have to sit here, that's fine. What I want you to do is to squeeze your glute, push the hip open, and let that hit that rectus femoris. Remember, it comes from the AIS, crosses the knee, goes all the way to that tibial tuberosity. Just crank in this position, hold it for how long? 2 minutes. Same thing on the other side. All right, here's the part everybody's missing. It's not just the front side of the knee, it's also the back side. So if we check this out, we're gonna do what's called the high rig kick up as I drip sweat everywhere. So find the rig, get on the side of the rig, kick the leg up all the way. So you can see my glute is all the way against the rig. My low back, I want you to hollow out. So smash the low back into the floor, lock the knee out, foot dorsiflex, take this leg, kick it all the way out, hang out this position for how long? 2 minutes. That's number 3. And number 4 is a goblet. So we'll go right here, and you can hang out in a really basic position. So take a plate. Go ahead, Jim, get out of the way, no problem. I'm just taking up space, kicking everyone out of the way. How do we do this? So I'm not in everyone's way. Like some big jackass. So grab the plate, bring it out front. I want your toes straight. Hold this out in front of you and hang out in this position for how long? Yeah, 2 minutes. So ideally, you can see my feet are straight, so I'll do it in front of you. Toes straight, plate out front, hang out like you're driving a bus. I can bring this down to the zero grid. Hang out in this position for how long? 2. And that's it. That's how you get rid of those snapping, popping knees. And that's how you fix everything. Now, I told you there was a bonus. I'm gonna show you how to adjust your knee. Oh yeah, you didn't think I was gonna show you this secret, did you? Check this out, this is so awesome. Looking for a PVC. You can do this with just about anything. Ideally, PVC is probably about the best thing you can use. So check this. Peep this one out. Take the PVC pipe, tuck it in, straighten out the leg, take the PVC pipe, tuck it in underneath, behind the knee, real high. Find that, it's like a lever, and then you're just gonna give it a push. Click. That fulcrums the knee over the PVC, gaps the joint a little bit, you'll get a little sonic boom, and call it a day. Hasta la pasta, cracking knees, and you fix your knee mechanics. Hey, listen, I'm Trev, SmashWerx, Labor Day. I will check you guys out tomorrow. Peace. So much to do today. Hey, I asked you guys for suggestions. I said, boy, you guys came through with colors, I'll tell you that. I have probably material for about another 10,000 videos. Thank you, you guys friggin' rock. You know what, tell your friends though. Tell everybody, because people go around and they're in pain and they're having all this stuff go on with them, and they don't know how to fix it, so they wind up getting surgeries or pills or injections or God knows what the hell they stick in their body these days. But there's always a way to fix it. So today is piriformis syndrome. Yeah, oh God, right? Ugh, piriformis syndrome sucks. Piriformis is this two-bellied muscle. So I'm throwing out gang symbols. So I'm gonna put this down because, well, you know, apparently I have Parkinson's disease first thing in the morning and I shake like Michael J. Fox, so let's not do that. So, which he's a pretty badass actor. It was pretty fun to watch him. I am that old. So, piriformis syndrome, what happens is that piriformis gets locked down. Now remember, there's a couple of things that happen with that piriformis muscle. It's grouped up with a bunch of other muscles that are all these external rotators of the hip. And you can mash all this stuff all day long. If you don't unglue those sliding surfaces, what happens? Nothing, doesn't work. So you gotta do it all. So I'm gonna show you 4 different things to do today. Call it piriformis 4. I don't know, I just made that up. So, piriformis is this two-bellied muscle, like I was saying before, gang symbol with the right hand. And the sciatic nerve sits in between this muscle, and when it gets short and tight, it jams down on this thing and just rocks your entire glute, back of the leg, all the way down to the big toe. It'll shut you down. It's super painful. And never mind the fact that that piriformis muscle spasm too beyond recognition. So you want to get this all cleared out. So I'm going to show you what to do. A couple of really simple stretches and then one super gnar mash out. Works really well. So first thing you want to do is you want to grab a, this stuff's fun, isn't it? I'm going to slide my bench back. Little M&M in the background. Yeah, shh, I can't say it too loud because YouTube might kick me off. Good, all right, so we've got, good. It's already hot this morning. It's like 85, 87 degrees, and it's like 6:20 in the morning. It's maybe 6 o'clock. So you're gonna take a band, okay? The whole point of this is the part that's funny to me, is I'm gonna be showing you my butt for a second. Stop laughing. Good, so you're gonna be like this, but you're gonna cross that leg over. So you can see what I'm doing with this, except the band is gonna be in, the band is gonna be on the rig, and it's gonna be holding my leg this way so I can really lean over and just peel away that piriformis. So what you do, I gotta be super fast on this one. So this is like ninja moves. So we're gonna put our foot in the band. Right, so my foot's in the band, hooked all the way around. Before I fall, there's nothing speedy about what I'm doing right now, by the way. All right, so you can see my foot is in this figure 4 position, okay? The band, just so you have an idea. Oh, can I reach over and get it? Yeah. So that's what's going on with my foot. This is where I need that magical third arm. So the band is dragging me. You can see it's crossing my leg. It's dragging my foot over behind my knee. I just want to be able to load up some tension on that. That's all. That's the biggest thing. So hold on. Let's see if I can pull this off without ripping my own groin. That would suck, huh, on video? You know what's really funny? I'd post it anyway. All right. Man, this is so gangster. All right. There we go. All right, so you can see what the band's doing. The band is dragging my foot. This is actually a pretty sneaky view. That's right, George Lucas. I'm coming. I'm going to show you how to make camera work. Good. He's a producer, though, now. I don't know. Anyway, what do I know about the movie industry? So you're going to get like this. I have a knee pad here just because, you know what? It's uncomfortable on my knees. I'm old. So this is going to drag your foot across so it pulls it in behind, right? That's number one. All you're going to do is you're going to flatten out your back. So let me get real low. You're going to flatten out your back. Foot's dragged all the way across by the band. Back flat. Shove your hip over. Oh, how long do we hang out like this? It's weird, I heard the music turn down. It's like ghost in here. All right, so you're gonna hang out like this for how long? 2 minutes. It's because the song's changing, right? So band is dragging the foot over so it stays this way. The only reason I have this here is to lock it behind the knee. Flatten out your back, stick your butt out, make sure you're nice and parallel to the floor with your torso, right? And all you're gonna do is this, band pulling the foot, and just shove your hip out like you're trying to blow it out of the socket. Hang out like that for 2 minutes. That's number one. Oh, that is funky. You can feel that. Because piriformis syndrome sucks. Number two, you're gonna get just like this. You're gonna lay flat, knees bent. We're gonna hammer this thing to death. You're gonna take your foot, you're gonna cross the leg, knee just like this. I've done this one before. Good, and all you're gonna do, it's so easy. God, I freaking love this one. I love this one because it hurts so good. Hurts so good, baby. All right, so figure four, and just roll this way. So I'm gonna hang out like this. I am completely flat. How long do we hang out? 2 minutes. Here, how about we throw down another view? We're gonna go like this, just so you can see what in the holy shizzle I'm doing. Cross the foot in a figure four. All I'm gonna do is just drop the leg. Hang out like this for how long? 2 minutes if you can see my fingers. Oh, that's just super fantastic. Oh, number three. Yeah, don't worry, we got four. I might even throw in a bonus. So you can see I got a box over there. We're gonna grab our trusty band. If you guys saw what I was using for a camera stand, by the way, you guys would laugh. It's a J-hook. We're gonna do the figure four seated. Now the reason we have the band is so it sucks the femur into the back of the socket where it's the most stable. So that's number one. Number two, you can use a green band if you want. I'm just throwing on a blue because it's easy. Good. Then now you can feel it. It's loading up that femur with the axial pressure, right? So it's driving it into the posterior portion of the socket. Make sure this is perpendicular to the floor. The reason I say this is because I'm going to be raising this leg. Take this foot, put it across the knee. Don't push down on the knee. It fulcrums that femoral head right out of the acetabulum and then just grinds the snot out of it. So don't do that. So we're going to go like this, foot like this, super flat. Now here's where it gets real funky. A lot of people, they round out and they hang out like this. Now I'm hitting a bunch of low back. I'm gonna stay nice and tight, keep the torso tight. Don't change anything here, right? Hands here, and all I'm gonna do is lean forward. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna hang out, and just how long do we camp out? 2 minutes. You are gonna feel this wanna blow out the side of your hip and your glutes so bad. Like right now, this foot's shaking. That's how tight this right side is. And you're just gonna hang out nice and flat. How long? Yeah, you know it, I said it already. Do both sides though, not just one side. Oh yeah, you guys are asking me if you should do this prior to or post. So pre or post workout, either's fine. If you have a hard time with mobility, do it before your workout. Get all this stuff smashed out. Get it moving the way it's supposed to. Because you know what? You're gonna thank yourself when you start doing your workout. Everything's gonna be supple and moving. Now remember what I said about restoring those sliding surfaces, right? Doesn't matter if you get all this tissue stretched out. If you don't have any sliding surface working properly, you want it ratcheting past or dragging extra tissue with you, which is all bad. So let's see how fast I can do this. I'm gonna run over here. And I'm still here. We're gonna grab a peanut and a lacrosse ball. Which is funny because that's code for 3 lacrosse balls. Come on, that's funny. That's funny right there. Back down to the floor. So I'm gonna flip sides. There we go. That's a good word, huh? Flip. I had a good idea for a real estate show. You know, everybody's flipping houses. You should just call it Flip That Shizzle. I think that would be funny. If somebody does that, I want a little piece of that pie. 1%, and maybe some shout outs, I'm fine. So you're gonna take this. Now you gotta be careful with this because a lot of people get on this, they start mangling away on it, and they wind up irritating that sciatic nerve because it comes right down through here. You can see the sciatic notch down here. So you wanna stay up real high. So if you squeeze your butt, there's gonna be a big lump of tissue right here. Take that, grind it in like you're a barista over at Starbucks. So start with this one. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna straighten out that one leg. I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna drop it out, so easy. That's it. Just drop in and out. If you wanna put a little more pressure on it, get on that side. Oh, that's grisly. So all I'm doing is I'm just grinding away on that tissue. You wanna use a peanut? Toss the peanut back there. The peanut's a little broader contact, so you'd think it would be more aggressive. Well, it is. Oh, that's diabolical. And this piriformis needs some work. Well, I guess I just figured something out. So we're gonna hang out like this till you feel the change. Now there's the difference, okay? The difference is, it's not 2 minutes, it's until the change happens. Whew, I'm sweating. So you wanna make sure that you do this, soften up that tissue, restore the sliding surfaces, get that all stretched out. Bye-bye piriformis syndrome. Hey, I'm Trev, SmashWerx. You ask, I deliver. I'll give you all the good stuff. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have an awesome day. But it's a heavy bathroom, so it's the way it works. It's a very heavy bathroom. We're gonna be talking about sciatic pain. So sciatic pain, I'm gonna tuck in right here, is when that nerve gets, I'm gonna tuck in right over here. So what happens is, with a sciatic nerve roots come out of the lumbar spine, L4 and L5 specifically, and what happens is the nerve gets either compressed up at the spine, or, here's the other part, it gets compressed by the piriformis. Now the piriformis muscle is this little two-bellied muscle, looks like this, not throwing gang symbols. That piriformis muscle, the sciatic nerve, which is about the size of your pinky, passes through that piriformis either over or under, but 9 out of 10 times it sits between it. So what ends up happening is it gets compressed and it runs all kinds of gnarly pain down the, I'm gonna get my patented camera stand, it gets all kinds of gnarly pain down the, I'll block this so Kaylin doesn't kill me, gnarly pain down the leg, all the way down into the heel and all the way out to the toe sometimes. So the dilemma is, anytime, watch this, I'm gonna give you the instant sciatic nerve test, watch. All you're gonna do is you're gonna stand up really tall, tuck your chin. If you get pain down the leg, you get pain into the heel, pain into the calf, or when you drop into a squat and it hurts in the leg, you got some sciatic issues. It's not a neurological issue where you need to take pills or anything like that. Usually it's an impingement problem on the nerve and you're missing two things, the glide, and you need to relieve the pressure on that nerve. Imagine this, we're gonna take your funny bone, we're gonna smash it about 50 times on a barbell over and over again, and then we're gonna try and figure out what's going on with these fingers that are tingling all the time. Yeah, problem ain't the fingers, problem is smashing the nerve. So imagine taking the nerve that passes underneath or through that piriformis and compressing it and just chewing up that high hip and making the tissue all short and tight, clamping down on the sciatic nerve. The problem is you're gonna have all these issues with where the sciatic nerve now goes. Now here's the problem with this. Sciatic nerve controls motor function and sensory function. So you have all these issues where you can't control the tissue properly, so now your squat's jacked, right? Your double unders are jacked. Your fighting's jacked because you can't pivot off your foot. I mean, you see where I'm going with this. All the stuff doesn't work. Never mind the fact that it hurts a lot. So I'm gonna show you some super cool stuff to do. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna floss out the nerve. And what you need is a wall, and that's it. So get up against the wall. Let's see if we can do this right here. And this is the slouch stretch. So let's move all the way out like this. Oh, that's some cool stuff, huh? Isn't that just wicked? That's my sick camera skill. So all you're gonna do is get your feet up against the wall like this. Super easy, hand width apart. You're gonna fold your hands behind your head and you're just gonna tuck your head, slouch. So I want you rounding out the back. So you're gonna come up real tight, feet are dorsiflex, flat against the wall, real tall, hands behind you, and you're just gonna slouch. You're gonna hang out like that, not for 2 minutes. You're gonna hang out like that for about 30 seconds. You can start with 5 seconds. If 5 seconds is just unbelievable, you're starting to get a really, really gnarly pain down the leg, start with 5 seconds. Work your way up to 30. So again, feet up against here, slouch. It's the only time I'm ever gonna tell you to slouch. That's number one. And number two is really easy. We're gonna unload that piriformis. And there's 2 ways we're gonna do it. Piriformis muscle, see if I can do this without getting too much glare so Kaylin doesn't want to kill me. I keep making reference to Kaylin. One day you'll meet him. Pretty cool dude. He was dropped in a vat of awesomeness and badassery, and that's just the way it works. Kind of like me, kind of like you. Yeah, we have all this stuff going on because we're gonna need it. So we're gonna take a band, we're gonna wrap all the way around, we're gonna do a piriformis stretch and a high hip stretch. 2 things. And then we're gonna mangle out that high hip. So the band is around the knees and around the back. You're gonna get all the way back up like this. It's like I'm doing jiu-jitsu. And then you're gonna reach underneath. So the reason we have the band is because it pulls the hip into the posterior, or pulls the femur into the posterior compartment of the hip, of that acetabulum, make it nice and snug. Otherwise we're mobilizing in a really, trying to say good words, a really crummy position. So you're gonna bring your hands all the way up underneath, and you're just gonna pull this all the way up. That's all you have to do. That's number one for the stretch. Number two is, same position, arms all the way out, roll all the way over. So, I'll go this way so you can see what I'm doing. Band all the way around, all the way over, hang out like this, 2 minutes. So 2 minutes in this position, do both sides so we can even out the pelvis. And then the other one is, raise the leg, pull it in. This one's a lot more aggressive. So I'm reaching under here, and I'm just gonna hang out in this position for how long? 2 minutes. Those are your two stretches. Last one is we're gonna mobilize that high hip. So you're gonna have a grab a lacrosse ball. It's gotta be pink. If it's not pink, it's not gonna work. Grab the lacrosse ball, you're gonna tuck it into that high hip. So there's a pocket up in here. Find that spot where it's just really, really grizzly. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that is so awful. So I'm gonna, find that high hip spot. I did a lot of air complex yesterday, so my hips are lit. Brace out on the floor with your shoulder, lacrosse ball, and then you're just kicking in and out all the way, kind of seesawing and mangling away on that piriformis, and you can go higher and roll around and find all those spots that are really glued down. Once that's all done, hustle a bye-bye for your piriformis pain. That's it. Hey, listen, Trev, hanging out at CSA with the whole crew, having a good time. I'll check you guys out tomorrow. Say bye-bye to piriformis and sciatic problems.